Science 1 Saya. So now, in this video, I'm going to share for you guys of what I have learned in Term 1. So first is biology. Bio means life. Logy means study. So does it mean that we will study about life or the living things here in this world, which is the human, plants, animal, etc. Moreover, it has a organizational level of life in the biosphere, which is the atoms are joined together to form molecules. The specialized molecules are assembled into organelles within membrane-bounded units called cells. Cell is the basic unit of life. Similar cells that perform a particular functions are grouped into tissues. Several tissues are joined together to form an organ. Organ works together to form an organ system. Different organ systems works together to form a single organisms. Organisms which are similar in appearance and can naturally interform the species. A group of the same species living in the same area forms a population. All populations of different species living together in one place consist a biological community. Biological communities and the physical habitat they reside constitute an ecosystem. Biosphere is at the highest level of the organization, which is the portion of the Earth's surface that includes air, land, water, where living things exist. And the next is all about categories classifying organisms, which is we have a classifications here, which is the domain, kingdom, phylum, order, class, family, genus, and species. And here we have a categories of the classifications. To identify the 5 kingdom of classification, which is the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, fungi kingdom, protista kingdom, and monera kingdom. And here are the definition of 5 kingdom of classification.
Cell structure and function. But before of that, we need define of what cell is. Cell is the simplest unit of matter that is living. The 2 primary kinds of cells are eukaryotic cells, which have a true nucleus containing DNA, and prokaryotic cells, which have no true nucleus. In prokaryotic cells, the DNA is coiled up in a region called the nuclei. Parts of the cell and function. The cell membrane. The cell membrane or plasma membrane forms a barrier to create an environment inside the cell that is separate from the environment outside the cell. The membrane is a vital border. It controls what enters and what leaves the cell. Cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is a seal-like fluid that contains water and other chemicals. The nucleus. The nucleus is the control center of the cell that contains the chromosomes with their genetic material, DNA. The nucleus controls all cellular functions. Chromosomes are large molecules in the nucleus made up of DNA and protein. Mitochondria are the factory and storage center for ATP, which is used as energy by the cell in making cellular products and carrying out the functions of the cell. Ribosomes. Proteins are important molecules produced by cells. Ribosomes are the organelles where proteins are produced or synthesized. Rough ER has ribosomes attached to it and makes proteins, including many important proteins for the plasma membrane. Smooth ER. Smooth ER does not have ribosomes but is involved in modifying proteins synthesized by the rough ER. Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus are the flattened sacs that help sort the proteins synthesized by the rough ER and ribosomes. Vacuole. The term vacuole means empty space. They help in the storage and disposal of various substances. They can store food or other nutrients required by a cell to survive. Centrosome. The centrosome is an organelle that is the main place where cell microtubules are organized. Is to maintain equal distribution of chromosomes in daughter cells. Types of cell, which is the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells are cells that do not have a true nucleus or membrane-bound organelles. Organisms within the domain bacteria and archaea have prokaryotic cells, while other forms of life are eukaryotic. Eukaryotic cells are cells that contain a nucleus and organelles and are enclosed by a plasma membrane. Organisms that have a eukaryotic cell include protozoa, fungi, plants, and animals. Animal cell and plant cell. So the differences between plant and animal cells cannot the naked eye. However, the impacts of these differences on the morphology or forms and features of plants and animals is noticeable. Without chloroplast, a cell wall, and a central vacuole, animal cells are able to do certain things that plant cells cannot, and vice versa. Similarities between plant and animal cells. Both plant and animal cells are eukaryotic. The highest rank of biological taxonomy is called a domain. The importance of the cell in a living organisms. Cells are the basic building blocks of all living things. The human body is composed of trillions of cells. They provide structure for the body, take in nutrients from food, convert those nutrients into energy, and carry out specialized functions. Roots encourage absorptions and storage. Root system consists of the mass of roots arising from an individual plant. Kinds of roots and root system, according to origin, may be classified as primary roots, that which develops from the radicle of the embryo. Secondary root, that which develops from the primary roots. Adventitious roots, those which do not arise directly or indirectly from the radicle. Adventitious roots can form naturally on intact stems or wound in those on detached stems or leaves. Two types of root stems, which is the taproot system and fibrous root system. Taproot system. Taproots have a main central root upon which small lateral roots called root hairs are attached. Mustard, carrots, beetroot, parsley, china, rose, and all the cotyledons are examples of taproot system. Fibrous root system. Fibrous roots, on the other hand, are bushy roots in which thin, moderately branching roots grow from the stem. Rice, wheat, maize, marigold, banana, and all monocotyledons are some examples of the fibrous root system. The functions of roots. Roots absorb water and nutrients from the soil. They anchor the plant firmly. They help in storing food and nutrients. Roots transport water and minerals to the plants. Stem, support and translocation. Stems, the functions of stems are to support the plant, connect the roots and the leaves, transport water, minerals, and glucose up and down the stem to where they are needed. The stem is that part of the plant above the hypocotyl which bears leaves, flowers, and fruits. It originates from a group of meristematic cells in the plumule of the embryo and the seed. Animal tissue. Tissues of living things are important, which is part of our body that help us to move functionally by its specific functions. So that's why we must protect ourselves to maintain it. Moreover, it provides us support and protections in our body. Organ system. All living things, which is human or animal, has a similarities organisms, which is the group of organs is work together by its functions to our body system and help us with gas exchange, removing waste, obtaining and transporting nutrients, sensing and protecting the body from disease. It is so important to us that we're able to work anything by the help of organ system. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching.